Hi peeps. Hello peeps. Okay, so I'm starting a quick demonstration on acrylic painting, and of course there's probably a ton of YouTube videos, but this is the teacher doing it. So let me talk a little bit about what you need to get started. You need your acrylic paints. These are provided by the school. It's a pretty decent set. I find that the paints inside are pretty opaque. Opaque means not see-through. And that's what you're looking for in paint. You're looking for something that is non-see-through as possible. These are just come see, come saw. They're not bad, but this is what the school's providing you. So if you don't have your own acrylic paints, then you can go and pick them up at the Scott's gym. Okay. As you can see, I have the whole rainbow here. I'm not going to use the whole rainbow because when you're working in acrylic paints, the good news about acrylic paints is that they dry really fast. The bad news is that they dry really fast. Um, and certain paints work in certain ways. Oil paint takes forever to dry. It doesn't really ever dry, it just changes its chemical consistency. Um, but the fun news about acrylics is they dry fast. So if you make a mistake, you just wait for it to dry and you paint right on top of it. And if you don't like that, you paint on top of that as well. When you work in acrylic paints, this is my palette, aka paper plate. If you want to save your paints, cover them with foil and put them in the refrigerator and they'll save fine for the next day. You don't want to use every single color in the rainbow here for your palette. You want to really concentrate on just one color or one color family at a time. So I always like to do color families in warm and cool. And these would be your cools, your blues and your greens. Let me get this little greenie over there. Whatever, green goes over there. And your reds, oranges, and yellows are your warms, and your cools are your purples, blues, and greens. And so I usually just do one color at a time. Okay, so I moved it around a little bit. This is your white and your black. So you use your white to lighten your color. I'm almost out of my white. And you use your black to darken your color. If I was going to buy acrylics, they can be expensive. They don't have to be. I might buy a set like this. I think the set costs about $10, $15. And but if I was going to buy more expensive paint, I'd buy the primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. I'd buy a big bottle of white, a small bottle of or tube of black, a big tube of white, and then I'd buy the primary colors. If and those are from those you can make every color in the rainbow, right? If I was going to have a little more money, then I'd get the secondary colors, which are green, purple, and orange. But that's all you need. And you can maybe get burnt sienna and yellow ochre, but that would be enough all the way through. And so yeah, so this is your acrylic paint set. So I'm going to build my palette now. So I'm going to paint a pear because they're fun to paint. And as you notice, I have just basic greens and a little bit of yellow. And what I'm going to do now is make different shades of those greens because I have a light. What I want is for every color, a light, medium, and dark. The yellow I'm just going to kind of leave alone. So I'm going to actually make a lighter green. Okay. Now I'm stirring my water, and when I clean my brush, I really scrub it on the bottom because it gets all the paint out of the bottom. So don't worry about being rough with it, okay? You really want to get all that paint out. So when you are putting colors together, you always add the darker to the lighter. The darker is always stronger. So you can, it's harder, you have to add a lot of white to make it lighter, okay? And I think this is a light enough green. I don't think I need to get much lighter than this. Okay, and now I have kind of a medium color green here. I don't really need to go that much darker for a poor pear, but I might. Okay, so I'm going to have the green here, and I really wash my brush off so I don't pollute the colors as much as, and a dot of black should do it. Okay, a little dot, and as you can see, it did it. Okay, so like anything else that's three-dimensional, I always try to do things that are light, medium, and dark. Okay, so there we go. And now I'm just gonna kind of fill in my pear with the medium color, which would be this kind of greenish here. It's a little bluey for me. So I think I might add a little yellow to it just to warm it up a bit. Okay. I might add a little more. And I just did something I told you not to do, which is add the lighter to the darker, but that's okay. It worked here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw my shape out, okay? Now, in some painting techniques, you're supposed to work in layers and you're supposed to do your background first and then, you block out your colors. In acrylics, often they show through. So if I did a darker background and I tried to paint on top of it, it wouldn't look so good. So I don't do that. Hold on, let me just get that little drop of water off. Okay, so I'm just going to paint the shape, the basic shape. Now, if you have a pear or a piece of fruit to look at, even better. But if you don't, that's fine too. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just building this. And then remember, the acrylics dry really fast. So that's good. Now, another thing I want you to notice is you can see my paint strokes. And that, if you've ever seen a Van Gogh, especially, you know that the paint strokes, it's important that they follow the form. So you don't want to go like that, okay? You want to really make sure that the paint strokes go with whatever form you're painting, because subtly, in a subtle way, you'll see them, okay? And so you want to make sure that they follow the form, all right? So paint strokes matter. Okay, you don't want to just throw it on there and just call it a day. Now, like anything else, I'm going to go around the edge and I'm going to darken it a bit so that I have that three-dimensional look. And it's a little darker right here. Let me see if I can lighten this up a little bit. There we go. There, now you can see it a little bit more like I'm seeing it. Okay. And so I'm just going to put some of the dark on the edge. Okay, and as you notice, I just have a hairy edge there. That's okay. I'm just going to make my pear a little fatter then. All right. Okay, so I'm just going around the edge here. And if you notice, I'm not blending or anything like that. I'm just kind of putting on the edge right there. Barely have enough. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to need more of that too, so hopefully it won't dry too fast. Okay, so you see I put an edge on this. Now, it doesn't mean everything you paint with has to have, light, medium, and dark, but it's kind of a nice way to go. Okay, so if you see, I have that. Now, I'm going to use a dry brush, and this is how I blend it. Okay, this is how you blend watercolors. Acrylics. So I take a dry, clean brush, and I just kind of do little swirls where the edges meet. See the little swirlies? They're very nice. All right, and then I just take off the extra paint. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just killing that line. And it's kind of the paint way of blending. And I taught you guys this when we did pencils. Okay, and the good news is once you've learned a technique, it really is applicable to almost anything else you do. So I'm just going around the edge and just blending that in together. It looks very nice. And taking off the extra paint, okay? It's actually almost dry. Can you believe that? If I make a mistake, I let it dry and I just go over it, No mistakes, just happy accidents sometimes. Okay, so now I have a nice blended edge. And now I'm going to lighten the middle. And I'm going to use just a lighter color first. Okay, I'm not using my light yet. I'm lightening it so that it gives a 3D effect. And as you can see, I'm just kind of going over it. And you can see the color underneath it. So that's what I'm talking about. They're not as opaque as I'd like, but okay. Hold on. So as you can see, I have that. And then I might just put the light in the middle. Okay, I'll just kind of stir that in there. All right, and I'm not worrying too much about it yet. Painting is a process. So now I'm going to do the same thing I did. I'm going to dry off my brush and just kind of scrub those edges, scrub them so that they blend together nicely. If you find that you're having a problem blending, that means probably one of the layers is dry. And so you just add more. Okay. I'm just blending it all in with a scrubbing motion. And I think I'm going to put a little lighter here because I want to. Because I want the pear to look a little rounder than it already is. So I'm using my lightest in the middle. So light, medium, and dark. And you want to have kind of one of those for every one of your colors, okay? A light, medium, and dark. All right. I just kind of put it on there. Scrub, scrub, scrub. This kind of paint is a little bit, if you notice, this is already dry, so I'm just adding a little of the regular green so that I have the surface, both surfaces wet, okay? And I'm just blending, taking off the extra paint as I go along until I get the nice clean look I'm looking for, okay? There we go. Ah, you're a very pretty pear. Okay, a little better. I'm liking it a little better. Okay, now, I'm still thinking I might want to blend a little more here, get a little darker in here. So, you know, just moving along, just adding some stuff where I think I need it. Okay. Here we go. Now, if you could have a picture of a pear up on your computer or something like that, or even a real pear to look at, you might find that it's easier to paint. Just because. Okay, now. And I'm barely touching the surface, okay? I'm just kind of barely touching it. In art speak, it's called licking. Yes, it is. I'm going to add a little yellow because pears have some yellow in them. All right, just to add. And then I'm blending, okay? By using that kind of circular motion, curly Q thing going there. And I think I'm going to add a little darkness here so it looks like it's kind of going in. So if you want it to look like it's going in, you just add a little darkness and voila. Okay, I'm liking that. Nice and smooth, very pretty. So I'm just going to do a little thing right there. You can see it's a little see-through for my taste. I don't like that. So I'm going to make another. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a little green to that so that it makes a 3D look. There we go. Nice, nice stem. There we go. Okay, let that dry a little bit, and then I'm just going to blend that together too. Okay. And I'm going to darken this edge here around it by adding a little color. Very nice. Okay, there's my pear. Very nice. I'm liking the pear. Okay, so as you can see, it's very pearish. And now I might add, I'm just going to add a, sorry about my reach, a shadow, just to give it more depth, okay? And I'm using purple because purple is the opposite of green. So in art speak, it's called complementary colors. They don't really complement each other. They're more like opposite colors. And they're opposite each other on the color wheel. So I'm just going to do a little. Aren't you happy I'm not making you guys do eggs? At least I'm not. I kind of want to, but I think I'll leave the eggs for a rest right now. So you can see I'm just going to do a little shadow here. And because it's opposite colors, it's really going to pop out my pear. Ooh, very nice. So when I'm painting, I paint carefully. I want my lines to be super sharp. I don't want them to be hairy, okay? So a hairy line would look like this. Okay? No hairy lines. Let's keep it nice and clean. and sharp. And that's just kind of good. Okay, let's see here. Alrighty. Very nice, except for the hairy part. Not happy. And now I'm just going to add a little highlight. Now, highlights are always white, okay? No matter what the base color is. And I'm just going to add a little shine here and there. It's a shiny pear. Okay, wherever I see fit, which is right here. All right, and it's just giving it a little bit more of that 3D effect. And then I'm just going to blend it in a little bit, but not over much. All right. So I'm going to want you guys to do this. Practice drawing by drawing a pear, painting. Now, here's the thing. When you paint, like anything else, the more you do, the better you get, okay? It's really not rocket science. It's just a matter of practice. It's a learned skill. And it's something that the more you do, the better you get. And it's very fun to paint. It's just fun. So you should do it a lot. I might do a little highlight right on that thing just for the heck of it. Hear the birdie? Isn't that nice? Yeah, it's a little too light. Boop. There we go. That's a little too light too, but whatever. I'll just smooth it out there on the stem. And I kind of use one brush through the whole thing. That's okay. You know, you find a brush you like, and then you just work with that brush. Okay, my dog's about to bark at the bird. But here's a pear. Let me bring it in so you can kind of see it closer up. And I'm kind of done. And that's it. So that is how you paint. And, you know, you just keep practicing until you can get a nice smooth look, and the look that you like. And that's it. So that's how you draw. Let me say that again. That's how you paint. Have fun. Bye.